You know, something about October and Halloween really brings out the theorist in me. I mean, some of my biggest videos were uploaded in October. There is something almost magical about trying to find the answers that are hidden in the dark on the month of Halloween. Well, let's not break tradition now, shall we? Why don't you all come take a seat by the fire here? I have quite a story to tell you all. Now everyone get comfortable, as I tell you the story of the pumpkin-headed Jack from Animal Crossing. Jack is a character from the Animal Crossing series. He appears once a year for Halloween, from 6 p.m. until 1 a.m. the following day. He gives out spooky furniture. Jack gives you this when you give him candy, but if you don't give him candy, he pulls a trick on you. He is somewhat like the other holiday-related characters in Animal Crossing like Franklin or Jingle. But really, Jack isn't like those guys. Sure, we don't know who Zipper T. Bunny is, but at least we know Zipper is either an animal or a human. But after all of my research, I have come to find out that Jack isn't either one of those. No, what I'm about to tell you will reveal a dark backstory which will explain what Jack is. Now, Nintendo has never revealed what Jack is, but it is believed that Jack and Wisp are the only two non-animal and human characters in the games. Sadly, again, we don't have much to work with here, as his dialogue, his e-reader cards, and his campground description don't give much detail as to what Jack is. Furthermore, we all know Wisp is a spirit, so what is Jack? Well, there are many guesses with little to no proof. However, we all know that one thing Nintendo loves to do, and that is to base their characters off of folklore. And like so many others, Jack is no different. So everyone sit back and relax as I tell you the folklore that Jack is based off of. This is the story of Stingy Jack. As the story goes, several centuries ago amongst towns and villages in Ireland, there lived a drunkard known as Stingy Jack. Jack was known throughout the land as a deceiver, a manipulator, and a menace to society. On one fateful night, Satan overheard the tales of Jack's evil deeds. After hearing these rumors, the devil went to find out for himself whether or not Jack lived up to his vile reputation. As was typical of Jack, he was again drunk and wandering through the countryside at night when he came upon a body in the cobblestone. The body turned out to be Satan. Jack realized somberly that this was his end. Satan had finally come to collect his soul. So with nothing to lose, Jack made a last request. He asked Satan to let him drink ale before they departed to hell. Finding no reason to not accept his request, Satan took Jack to a local pub and supplied him with many alcoholic beverages. Upon quenching his thirst, Jack asked Satan to pay the tab on the ale, much to Satan's surprise. Jack convinced Satan to morph into a silver coin with which to pay the tab. Impressed by Jack's nefarious tactics, Jack then suddenly stuck the now transformed Satan coin into his pocket, which also contained a crucifix. The crucifix's presence kept Satan from escaping his form. Due to this, Jack coerced Satan to agree to his demand. In exchange for Satan's freedom, he had to spare Jack's soul for 10 years. 10 years later to the date, when Jack originally struck his deal, he naturally found himself once again in Satan's presence. Jack happened upon Satan in the same setting as before, and he seemingly accepted it was his time to go for good. As Satan prepared to take him to hell, Jack asked if he could have one apple to feed his starving belly. Foolishly, Satan once again agreed to this request. As Satan climbed up a nearby apple tree, Jack surrounded its base with crucifixes. Satan, frustrated at the fact that he had been entrapped again, demanded to be released. As Jack did before, he made a demand that his soul never be taken by Satan. Satan agreed and was set free. Eventually, the drinking took its toll on Jack, and he died. Jack's soul prepared to enter heaven through the gates of St. Peter, but he was stopped, and Jack was told by God that because of his sinful lifestyle of deceitfulness and drinking, he was not allowed into heaven. Jack then went down to the gates of hell and begged for admission into the underworld. Satan, fulfilling his obligation to Jack, could not take his soul. To warn others, he gave Jack an eternal ember, marking him a denizen of the netherworld. From that day on until eternity's end, Jack is doomed to roam the world between the planes of good and evil, with only an ember inside a hollowed-out turnip or pumpkin to light his way. Later on, his spirit morphed into a cloaked figure with a pumpkin head, with the eternal ember still burning from the inside. And that is the story of Stingy Jack. And this story will lead us to the backstory of Animal Crossing's Jack. Now, I'm not saying Jack from Animal Crossing is the same as Stingy Jack. However, what happened in the story explains what is Jack and how he came to be. Now, as I said earlier, Jack is one of the two non-animal and human characters in Animal Crossing. In fact, in my research, I have seen Jack referenced as a specter, which is just another term used for ghost or spirit. The way he disappears and continues talking to you while you can't see him mimics Wisp, who is also a spirit. This leads me to believe that Jack is not only a spirit that interacts with the living, but it also leads me to believe that he is a trapped spirit. Just like Stingy Jack, Animal Crossing's Jack is a trapped spirit who wasn't accepted into the pearly gates as well as the fiery gates. This is how I believe it went down. When Jack was alive, he was a devious and maybe even a cruel person. Jack loves to play tricks, so when he was alive he probably played lots of really cruel tricks on people that probably really hurt them. Jack also loves candy, and similar to Stingy Jack's love of alcohol, Jack loved candy and probably used this as a way to trap the devil, and used it to make sure he wouldn't have to go with the devil after he passes away. But little did Jack know, due to this, he would meet the exact same fate as Stingy Jack. Jack would also have been given an ember, marking him a denizen of the netherworld until eternity's end. Jack is just another spirit doomed to roam the world between the planes of good and evil. But unlike Stingy Jack, he tries to make the most of it by collecting his beloved candy and playing tricks on people. Sure, he still likes playing tricks, but probably nothing compared to what he did when he was alive, maybe learning his lesson. This all probably explains why Jack calls himself the Czar of Halloween. Halloween is all about tricks and candy, two of Jack's favorite things. It may be possible that Halloween was a special time for him when he was alive as well. So Jack decided to make it his job to make Halloween special for everyone, and have some fun along the way. But honestly, at the end of the day, this just makes Jack a tragic character. I feel that Jack is spending his afterlife trying to have fun and help others have fun, to forget that he is trapped. It feels like he is doing this not only for his and others' amusement, but maybe in hopes that if he does good enough, maybe he will get accepted into heaven. But sadly, from what we learn in the folklore, it doesn't work that way. Jack will never be able to get accepted, only able to show up one day of the year except for some special occasions. Unlike Coco, who is a spirit attached to a gyroid, she can move on one day. She is not trapped. And he is unlike Blanca, who can come and go as she pleases, a true free spirit. Due to Jack's actions from when he was alive, Jack is forever trapped, never able to move on, not able to move about freely. And the saddest part is that Jack is loved by many, even us. But we all pass away one day. And just imagine all the friends Jack makes. All those friends he can make for eternity. They all pass on, and he is stuck on Earth, never able to join them in the afterlife. Jack did bad things in his life, and his punishment for it is being a lost spirit who was stuck on Earth. As any villager he has befriended eventually moves on, and he is truthfully left alone with his candy and his tricks. And even if he has learned his lesson and is doing better things, he will most likely be trapped for all eternity. And that, my friends, was the dark and tragic backstory behind Jack of Animal Crossing. I hope you all enjoyed. Now, all of you remember, this is just a theory. Kind of like a spooky ghost story you tell around a campfire. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And hey, if you like what you see, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Also, if you want to support the channel, please visit my Patreon. You can also follow me on my social media accounts. But I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next time.